We'd like to begin this podcast by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Whadjuk Noongar people, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Mel,
Hello,
how are
Matthew.
you? We're here. A very special episode.
I feel so discombobulated, Matthew. You have no idea.
It's very weird, isn't it? We are at, we're doing our first ever YouTube recording. You get to see us. Hello, everyone. And we're at Bright Czar Studios, Mel, thanks to Sev. Big shout out to Sev, who's let us use his studio here. It's special in multiple ways, Mel.
It certainly
It's
is.
episode 46. We're calling it Kids Talking Couch Potatoes today.
Yes.
Because we've got kids come in and tell us what they reckon about greyhounds, greyhound racing. They've come up with their own questions. And we're going to have a little panel discussion. Kids table, if you will.
Exactly.
I'm excited, Mel.
We've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Building some little change leaders here.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, they already are.
And a couple of them, we've already chatted to a few of them actually. They're Talking Couch Potatoes alumni, effectively, and we're going to meet them shortly.
Yep.
Before we do, Mel, can I also give a plug for our wonderful sponsor, Henry Houndwear, which is what all the best dressed hounds are wearing.
That's right. And for the first time, my dog Gina slept through the night without chewing her onesie off. And that was from Henry Houndwear. And that is no word of a lie. I could not believe it. They said, please, Mel, just try it. So Gina is a convert.
So she's no longer permanently naked. She's able to wear. Okay.
Yep.
I was hoping actually, Mel, that Joe would think about making human adult copies of what Bunny wears so I could be twins. I'd like to be a twin with Bunny.
A onesie for bed.
Yeah. So Joe, please, can you make a,
I think she should go a bit longer in the torso though for humans.
Yeah. And a bit rounder. Yeah. Thank you, Henry Houndwear. You're awesome.
You are.
The other little bit of news before we start is just a shout out to the world. The world is listening, Mel. We want Perth to listen. We want the West Australian government to listen. In the meantime, 52 countries now, Mel. We've just added Serbia, Lithuania, Latvia and Peru.
Wow.
Hello to you guys.
And Ethiopia, if you're out there, my son's birth country, we're still waiting on you.
Yeah, that'll be good. What else, Mel? What's happening in the world of Free the Hounds?
Recently, we had a market stall at Vic Park Market to celebrate the launch of a new book about Georgia the Greyhound, written by Hannah, who many of you know. She's been on here 3 times, I think, previously.
She's a regular guest. She's a friend of the Hounds.
So that was amazing for her. She's on our episode a bit later today. And herself and her dog Georgia were giving autographs and
Portographs. Hannah told me.
Yes, in the book. So that was a really lovely market, great to be at, and lots of people came. It's amazing that kids that age are starting to do things like that.
Yeah.
Something that they love and passionate about, and take it that next step.
Yeah,
Hannah
is next level.
Yes.
She's next level, that kid. And we get to speak to her again today as well. I think George is with us today, so maybe, I don't know if we can get Georgia on camera.
She will be.
That'd be good.
It's great having handy pats.
Yeah. What's the name of the new book? There it is.
It is.
Georgia the Grey Comes Home to Stay. I remember we had Hannah on when she did the first book. It was Emily's book. And I was crying.
And you were literally
I was
in
literally
tears.
crying.
Yep.
Go get it, Georgia the Grey. Where can people get it, Mel?
On our website.
freethehounds.com.au.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yep. And other rescues throughout the country are also selling it. And all of the funds that are raised go toward rescue, Greyhound rescue.
Yeah.
So it's just nobody loses in this.
So you get a beautiful book. It's a beautiful gift, and you're doing a beautiful thing.
And, can I show? Because we're on video. This is fun. What I'm showing for anybody that is just listening, Matt, I believe, is in this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So there's Matt and Bunny, and there's myself and my baby girl, Anna, who's sadly gone over the Rainbow Bridge. But yeah, so we're
stars
appear in it.
Yeah.
How cool's that?
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, Hannah.
Go and get
really
it.
Good. It is.
If you don't buy that as a gift for someone, frankly, you're not a good person. Mel?
Yes.
This is, I've said many times, a necessary evil for the podcast.
Yep.
It's necessary because we need to know the cruelty and the carnage and the death and the injury that this industry wreaks havoc upon these dogs. So
Okay, so what you're referring to is the stats.
Yes.
So this is for the second quarter of the year, so April through June. Trainer subsidy, trainers got paid $541,000 for that quarter. So over $500,000 went to pay trainers to simply take a dog and run it on the track.
And that comes out of government money?
Yes, technically it does because it's a government association. Racing and Wagering WA is owned by the government. So if there's not the funds in there, if they run at a loss, then where does the money come from?
Right here.
It comes from the government. So that, at the end of the day, that's what happens. Prize money was over $4.4 million. And that's just in 3 months. And majority of these people are hobbyists, so there's no tax that they pay on that. Breeding bonus, they were paid $240,000 to breed more puppies in this state.
Right, so in the middle of a rehoming crisis, not just for greyhounds, for many
all breeds,
there's an incentive to make that rehoming crisis worse. Effectively,
100%.
A monetary incentive.
Yep. And the owners of the dog who actually can earn the breeding bonus, they don't even have to be living in WA. Right. So there can be an owner on the East Coast that gets paid for the breeding bonus for their dog winning. So it doesn't even help our state at all.
Again, that blows me away again, Mel, because we've talked about the effort and the energy that advocacy groups and rehoming groups have to do at the tail end of this, right? There's, volunteer time, there's energy, there's kenneling, there's all this sort of stuff that has to be managed because this industry keeps throwing out more and more dogs.
Yeah.
And on the front end, it's the exact opposite.
Exactly.
There's money being poured into that. It's madness.
Yeah, that's right. And the government came out very recently as a 25-26 budget for more money to go to the guide dogs. And that isn't even as much as what the prize money for 1 quarter is here. $3 million, I think it was, to train more guide dogs. Yeah. There's over $500,000 there in 1 quarter spent on greyhound racing.
There's something upside down happening.
Absolutely. And for welfare, $45,000 went to welfare.
Right.
So there you go.
I shouldn't laugh, but again, the industry says that they're interested in the welfare and protection of greyhounds. And yet I'm looking at 4.4 million for this and 540,000 K for this, and then a couple of pennies.
Yeah, 1%, less than 1% of that figure, yep. And recently there was also an article where Minister Papalia came out and said that we will not be shutting greyhound racing down in this state. And he has information, he has seen statistics, he has seen evidence that it is not making the money that the industry claims it makes, that the animal welfare is not at that gold standard that they claim it to be. Yeah. He talks in communication to us that, but what about what we did in 2017 and all these other things? It's not making any difference.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, there is no homes for these dogs to go to, and there is no such thing as a safe track for these dogs to race on.
You would wonder what the motivation is, and I was looking over some of the questions the kids came up with, and they put it much more politely.
Yes.
But basically what the hell's going on with the government not changing things.
Yeah. Now onto the injuries. In that period also 90-day stand downs, which is generally they never come back from a 90-day.
That's a pretty big injury, isn't it?
That's right.
If they can't race for 3 months.
Leg, fractured shoulders, that sort of thing. There was 13 dogs that suffered a major injury. For 60-day stand downs, which you occasionally get one that will come back to racing from that, there was 2. And for a 42-day stand down, there was 3. All other on-track incidents, there was 132 dogs. Off-track, though, was 135 injuries. So in Racing and Wagering's figures about how bad or good racing is for dogs, those 135 are never taken into the calculation that the government looks at to say, yep, the sport's safe.
So 3 months?
Yep.
What, over 300 dogs had some kind of incident? 18 dogs were actually injured in some way?
Yep. Yep.
And the other thing I heard was this little trick they're doing lately is if a dog is really badly injured on track, they won't euthanise them at the track.
We haven't got to those yet. There was 3 that were euthanised on track.
Yep.
1 that died on track.
Yep.
And then there was 4 that were euthanised off track. Now, Jess Beckerling, the Green MP, asked in Parliament, and of 8 dogs that she asked about, 5 of those were killed within 24 hours of said race. However, those deaths now will not count again in the on-track injury statistic that Racing and Wagering use.
Yeah, so they're fudging again.
They absolutely are.
Yeah.
They absolutely are. And then there was also another 75 dogs that had no apparent injury. Of that, they don't know. They don't know. I mean, some of these were horrific falls. I mean, the committee that I work with, we view the footage, we look at the falls, and some of how those dogs even survived, I have no idea. Yeah. So whether they've been killed off track also, whether they will ever race again, but it doesn't count because the vet on the night said, I can't find an
It's,
injury.
it's just such a stark contrast again of the idea of care and love. But these dogs tumble and they're, well, game on, let's continue.
Yeah.
I can't square this idea of welfare and care when they're letting, 8 dogs dead in the last few months?
Yep.
18 beautiful creatures injured in some serious way. It's not getting better.
Oh, yeah, that's only for 3 months, as you say. It's only what we know about. There'll be other dogs that have died for various reasons.
Right.
Pups that didn't make it, further than a few weeks.
I'm
thing.
really glad we've got the kids on today, because sometimes I think maybe I'm coming from this naive perspective, because you get all these answers from the pro racers and these complicated, convoluted arguments about this and that. But the kids tend to come at it from a really quite innocent perspective, right?
100%.
It's like, why do we keep hurting these dogs? So I'm in line with that. I can't wait to hear what they've got to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Frankly, I'm looking forward to it, Mel. Mel, we've got our illustrious, wonderful guests with us. I'm going to introduce them, if I may. On my far left over here, we have a previous guest of Talking Couch Potatoes, quite a star in Free the Hounds, Layla. Hi, Layla. How are you? That's good. Got Luka, another Talking Couch Potatoes alumni. Luka flew in from Melbourne.
I know.
Last night just to be here for this.
He did.
I think he's off to New York tomorrow.
Yep.
To appear. No, you're not.
Ticket.
Yeah, no worries. To my right, Sofia. Hello, Sofia. I don't think we have met before, have we? A very pleasure to have you here. Thank you for making your time to give to this wonderful cause. And Adam. I don't think have we met Adam as well?
No, we haven't.
We haven't. Welcome to Talking Couch Potatoes. Your first ever appearance. And obviously a huge star for Talking Couch Potatoes. She's an author. She's a public speaker. It's Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
And Mel, you're there too.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Thanks for coming, guys. It's awesome. I think all of you have a greyhound living with you at home, except for Adam. Adam's got a rescue dog, because rescues are the best breed,
Yep.
from the Dogs Refuge Home. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about him?
So his name's Rocky, and he's a black dog with a white stripe on his chest.
Oh, that's gorgeous. How old is he?
1 year now.
Wow, so you got him as a puppy, did you?
Yeah, we got him when he was 5 months.
Oh, wow. And do you know what his story was?
He was born in Derby, and then he got microchipped in Britain, and then he flew down to Perth.
Wow. Well, good on you for saving him and your family. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Because that's one thing that we do worry about at Free the Hounds, is that while all these greyhounds and these people get paid for having greyhounds and racing them and raising them, for every greyhound that finds a home, which is absolutely what we want, other breeds often miss out, because where you've got a greyhound in a home, you don't have another dog necessarily. So it's not just, greyhound racing doesn't just affect greyhounds, it affects other breeds as well.
Yep. So if we can find a way to stop the greyhound racing,
Yep.
we can stop the breeding bonuses, we can stop these beautiful creatures getting forced to race and then needing a home later on, and they can just have lovely homes from the beginning.
That's right.
There's more space for the other dogs.
Other dogs, the other rescues, yep.
Yeah. All right, Mel, we interview lots of guests on the show. We've had professors and politicians and veterinarians and physios and all sorts of stuff, yeah? And we come up with some questions for them.
Yes.
This time, on Kids Talking Couch Potatoes, we've got the kids to come up with their own questions. And there's some rippers, Mel.
I know.
Some very good questions. There wasn't a question about how to pick up dog poo the first time you walk a dog, because that would have been helpful for me.
Yes.
Because I never had a dog when I was a kid, and I had a doggy bag on the leash. You're laughing already, Adam. You know what's coming, don't you? So they did a poo. I'm a grown adult, and I was like, what the hell do I do with this? So I grabbed the bag, and I'm like trying to scoop the poo into the bag, and not much was going in. And you put like a glove, you turn it inside out. That was a revelation. So that's my funny story. What do you think?
Yeah.
Can you believe an adult would do that? Anyway, shall we move on?
Yes,
Mel?
please.
No more poo stories?
No more poo
We've called that
stories.
episode Talking Couch Potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Layla, you've come up with some fantastic questions. Layla had asked, if greyhound racing is known to hurt dogs, why is it still allowed in Western Australia? Can you tell us a bit about that question, Layla?
I don't know why greyhound racing is still allowed in WA when it hurts dogs. It makes me sad because greyhounds are gentle and sweet. Some adults care more about money and gambling than the dog's safety. There are better ways to make money that don't hurt animals.
Very true.
Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah. Do you guys, anyone else on the panel? Yes, grab your little mic there, mate. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like the racing industry, like traders, they think differently. They think they're treating the dogs the way they should be, but they don't think dogs should be treated the same way humans should.
I like that.
They're thinking that they're treating them right, but that really they're not.
Yeah, and it's confusing, isn't it? Yes, Hannah. What are your thoughts?
I think that basically, since greyhounds are classified as livestock in Australia, technically the racers are actually allowed to do like stuff like this, but I don't think they should even be considered like that because they're dogs, they have dog features. They're not livestock like farm animals.
Yeah. So you think they should be more companions and pets, aren't they? Yeah.
They have nothing similar to any livestock.
Yeah. Good point, Hannah. Anyone else got some thoughts on that?
If greyhound racing is banned in America, then it should be banned in Australia because our countries are decently similar, except for the fact that America is way bigger.
Yeah, America is way bigger, and that's a really good point. And we're going to come to that later. Someone else has asked around how many tracks there are in the world. You'll be stunned to find out. Mel, did you have any thoughts on that question and Free the Hounds understanding?
It's the people that are in power that need to make these changes, and I think they're getting information that is inadequate, or they won't look at another side of it in order to make a real judgment, a fully informed judgment. I really think what Luka said is right too, is these people think differently.
They do think differently. I think sometimes if you did a little picture inside their head, there wouldn't be a comfy, secure greyhound. There might be a little dollar sign inside. What do you think? Would that be part of it?
So like, a lot of people, if their mums or dads or from their family, if they like started being in the industry, it's in their DNA to keep on doing it. So then it lasts and lasts until hopefully eventually one person figures out that it's not
That's a
great thing to do.
That's a really awesome point. So you're talking about like a kind of a intergenerational cultural norm that develops, and then at some point someone says, well, this isn't right. Kind of like, imagine if you were a slave-owning family, yeah, and your grandpa owned slaves and your dad owned slaves, and then you go, wait a minute, I don't think this is right. I don't think I'm going to continue this tradition in this family.
Greyhound racing is probably also not banned yet because we don't have enough people trying to ban it. Yeah. We don't have enough people who understand greyhound racing and know how bad it is. We have to get more.
Brilliant. And you know what, you guys are contributing to that because you're coming on and you're helping us to educate people out there that are watching so they will know more, and then more people know about it, more people will join the cause. Yeah, so you guys are being a huge part of that change. You should be proud of yourself.
And I think too, that's where your generation will not put up with this kind of treatment of animals like our generations have before you. So hopefully we can change it so you don't ever have to think about it.
That would be great. All right, shall we move on to Luka? Luka's question is, what happens to the mentally injured greyhounds? Because the racing industry is just adding to the list of dogs that need rehoming. That's a really good one because we know that this industry not only does physical harm, but there's also mental harm that can occur through the lack of sort of enrichment, lack of a safe and secure environment based on love and tenderness, not based on racing and training. So that's a really good question, Luka. I love that. What are your thoughts on that question?
So like, I have a adopted dog at home. Her name is Poppy, but she, as soon as we got her, she was cowering in the corner. We had to carry her. She was scared of a fence rattling, scared of a crow squawking. So she was just cowered in the corner the whole day. And then when we got her out for a walk, we would have to carry her outside. And she's so timid. It's taken her, I think like, we've had her for 2.5 years now. Yep. She's still a little bit timid, but she's gotten way better. And it's taken her like 2.5 years to fully adapt.
Wow, well, that's a huge effort you and your family have done then, Luka, to support Poppy through that period. And she's able to go on walks now and that kind of thing?
Yeah, she can, because it used to only be my dad that could take her out.
Yeah.
Now sometimes even me or my mum can.
Oh, nice.
But she must have had something really bad that happened to her that's caused her to be that timid. So she didn't really race much, and even when she did, she barely even went onto the track. So she probably would have. I think she was about to get put down but Gal
saved her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Luka. You got some thoughts, Sophia?
I think most greyhounds turn out like this because doing racing, they get treated really badly. They come out of racing like scared, anxious, and they don't trust people because of the way they were treated, because people might have forced them to do stuff.
Hannah, you got some thoughts?
I agree with Sophia, and yeah, I just don't like the idea of just sitting in a cage for ages, then running in a trailer, running, cage, and it's the cycle for your whole life, basically, unless you get rescued. Yeah. And you're really lucky if you get rescued.
I think some of the trainers, when they say, oh, but the dogs love to race, I think possibly too, because sometimes it's the only time that they get to go out and leave the kennels. So, of course, they're going to love to race if that's their outing. You know, when your dogs know that it's time to go for a walk or that your human's coming home, they get all excited. I think sometimes that excitement is misguided. Yeah, the reason for it. It's just, yes, I'm getting attention. Yes, I get to go out. And, you know, if you're the track attendants or the vet nurse or even the vet are kind to the dog, maybe that's the only bit of kindness that it receives during that time. So I think that's sometimes why people think they might like to race.
They're not aware of the danger there. So even if they are happy to get out and have a run, it's our responsibility to not put them in danger when they have that desire. Exactly. And the best way to do that is an open field where they can run as they please and stop when they please. Do you have another thought there?
So the timid ones, if they don't run, or like even ones that aren't fast, like all the trainers in that, they only want the ones that give them good money. If they have, say, a really fast one, they will try and breed it more, and they can get more money. But if they have a slower or more timid dog, they will be like, no, we're putting you down, we're not breeding anything.
Not interested,
Not interested, And either that or, say, Gawa will, like, rescue them. And they'll leave all the problems to foster carers or,
And what a strange system that is, isn't it? When if your love and care and attention is based on what you can do for me. You know, our beautiful Bow Boy, you've met, a lot of people have met the Bow Boy. Yeah, skinny little fella, adorable, cute face. Not a very good runner. He's a bit rubbery and he's adorable. I love him so much. But if you're a racing person, you'd say, I'm not interested in you. I want the really fast dogs who can make me money. Again, it doesn't seem like love and care and attention, does it?
No.
It shouldn't be, love should be what can I do for you, not what you can do for me. Do we reckon? Yeah? Go for it, Hannah.
So when we first got Georgie, I think it was like a week after she got out of the racing injury, she was like quite traumatized. She would bark at dogs on the TV. She would just like pace around the lounge room, shaking. Yeah, it's just sad to see that happening.
Yeah.
She's a lot happier now.
If I were a greyhound, then I would not like it because they just have to chase some weird thing that swings at
The lure.
The lure.
Yeah.
the lure.
Yeah.
And they're just dogs. They should race robots, not greyhounds.
Robots.
100%.
Your questions are all amazing, by the way, guys. You should be podcast hosts. All right, Sophia, you said, what are some of the animals that get used in live baiting that also get killed in the greyhound racing industry? So this is a thing, Mel, isn't it? I think they've tried to reduce this or phase it out. It's certainly illegal. But I know the history of greyhound racing, a big part of that was this live baiting, or blooding, I think is another term for it. What are your thoughts on that question, Sophia?
Well, I did a speech on this last year. Yeah, not just on this, but on whole greyhound racing.
Wow.
And I learned animals like rabbits, possums, piglets, they kill the animals and make the greyhounds run for it. It's called live baiting, and I think it's quite unfair because what did the animals ever do to us? And they're just killing them to make the greyhounds run faster. Yeah.
Wow. So they're killing some animals to make greyhounds do something that might kill or injure them.
And live baiting is illegal,
Yep.
but people do it secretly in some places.
Right. Mel, did you Free the Hounds have any info on that?
We've had no instances of it here in Western Australia that have come out in many years, and I don't know that Western Australia it wasn't used nearly as much as on the East Coast.
Yep.
And I think it was about 5 years ago that they finally banned the use of any cured or tanned hides, because even up until then they were still using those, which was obviously from a dead animal that had been skinned. They were using those still to train the dogs. So that's been banned as well, but that was only about 5 years ago that it actually got banned. So too recent that we were still getting involved in it.
21st century and we're doing archaic stuff.
Yeah.
Mel, I remember episode 36, I had a chat to my dad, came on the show under the Reformed Punter episode, and Dad had a bit to say about some of the friends he had and some of the practices that they used to be involved in. Like literally, Dad was actually aware of it face to face. The sport doesn't have a very kind history to it. What do you reckon?
I used to have a dog named Walter, and then I also have a foster dog named Huey.
Yep.
Whenever they heard, say, a rustle in the bush or anything moving they saw, they would start tugging on the lead or like howling and be like, I want to get straight to it.
Yeah.
So they've been taught to do that from the racing industry to kill more animals.
And that's a part of the reason greyhounds have to have leads all the time. One day, Mel, we'll have the pleasure of having greyhounds run along freely on the beach or in the park without a lead, potentially. Once we get rid of this sort of industry that, again, teaches them to go after prey. Hannah, did you have some thoughts?
About the leads, and when you said running on beaches, Georgia's favourite time when she ran was when we went down south and we let her off leash and she ran on the sandbars at a beach. I think it was like the best run that she's ever had.
Oh, yeah.
She was so happy.
Awesome. My favourite time is when I'm let off the leash, frankly, Hannah. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, shall we move on, kids? We've got Adam has another awesome question. This is more of a statistical question. Adam wants to know what percentage of retired greyhounds make it to a loving home, which is where they all belong, Adam. What inspired you to ask this one, mate?
Georgia, I reckon, is a really lucky dog to come from such a bad background and going into a good home after a bad crash on the track. It's most dogs probably get put down after that kind of thing.
Mel, do we have any sort of stats for Adam around what happens?
I think that this is a really difficult one to answer, not so much in Western Australia. Because it's government owned, they are much more strict with the rules from what we can see. On the East Coast, I don't think there's actually enough evidence to prove what percentage really get rehomed to reasonable homes, because although they say that they track them from birth to retirement, once they left the industry, then they dropped off because that microchip number wasn't checked in regularly at the racetrack. Yeah. So it's very difficult. Probably, at best guess, it's about 70% nationally get rehomed. But again, it's very difficult to get hard facts about how many dogs are actually born into the industry. Before, when you're going back 15 years, most of them were euthanized.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's why greyhounds were never seen around. That's why there's such a huge boost in people's knowledge of greyhounds now, because under the rules of racing it changed and the public started screaming out about the fact that all these dogs were dying and became aware of it, that they had to change. It's what's called their social licence. There's also no law, as Hannah brought up earlier, the fact that they come under a different category of animals for entertainment and come under that livestock strain.
Yep.
There is no law against killing a healthy greyhound. That's not classed as euthanasia.
Right.
That doesn't come under it's when it's kind in the animal's best welfare.
Yeah.
What is in the animal's best welfare about killing a dog that's perfectly healthy?
Hannah, you got some thoughts?
Like Adam was talking about earlier, Georgie is actually really lucky. I think she was 1 week till she was going to be killed.
Wow.
So yeah, it's basically, I like the term that was on the billboards that Georgie was in the middle of.
Yeah.
We did not retire, we survived.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They're survivors, they are.
Yep, survivors. Nice
Anyway,
point.
I don't
think it doesn't count as retired if you still work as an advocate.
Yeah, George has
Good
gone
point.
into a second career.
Exactly.
That's all it is. I just want to jump in with, I think, Luka, did you have it?
So, now did you say 70%?
Around that. That's,
Roughly.
All those greyhounds that do get a loving home probably spent their best years at the racetrack.
100%.
When they could have been.
Very good thought.
They could have had their whole life.
Yeah.
But instead they had to spend their best years when they're most healthy, when they're most happy at the racetrack.
Yep. That's
Very true.
Yeah, it's probably 60% or 70% right now. But years ago, a number 90% of greyhounds probably get killed, I think.
That's right.
So we've gotten a bit better, but we have to get way better.
Absolutely.
great.
You're
Right,
right.
Sophia. Adam, did you have anything else you wanted to say on that question?
Who are the dogs? The people or the greyhounds?
Oh, that's taking the gloves off. Very good question.
Oh my goodness.
But that's straight from the mouth of somebody who is passionate about it, and from a younger person. And I think this is what the politicians need to understand, that if children can see that it's not correct, why can't they at least sit down and have a discussion?
Because these guys haven't got all little dollar signs in their heads, have
Absolutely.
you? You've got comfy beds, pats and cuddles and snacks in your mind. All right, we're going to have to move on.
Yes.
Hannah had a good one. If greyhounds don't choose to race, is it really fair to say they love it? Tell us about that question, Hannah.
I don't think it's fair to say that greyhounds love to race because it isn't their choice to do it. And it's basically forcing them to do something that they probably hate. Like, Georgia, she's not a fan of running. When we take her to Zoomies, she runs like one lap around Zoomies and gets tired.
So, yeah, dogs usually love to run, but some dogs probably don't like to run. Yeah.
Georgia prefers sleeping.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think Sophia's got some thoughts there on that one, Hannah.
So maybe dogs like to run, but not race. Like, even I don't like to race, but I still like to run.
That's such a good point.
People who say they love racing are probably just trying to support the industry.
Yeah.
They just want it to keep going. I have a dog, and kind of like yours, she runs like a lap around a park, and then for the rest of the day, she's just sleeping.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And can I also say, let's just assume that they're right, just for the sake of argument, that greyhounds do love to race. Every single greyhound loves to race. Do you think they love breaking their legs? Do you think they love tumbling and getting scared? Do you think they love being stuck in a kennel?
And they won't be able to say if they don't like racing because they can't talk. So how would we know?
Yeah, go Hannah.
So once a lady walked up to us when me and my mum were going to get some ice cream with Georgia, and she's, "Oh, you've got a greyhound," in some sort of suspicious tone. And she's like, "How do you deal with them? They're so energetic." And then she asks, like, "How many times do you have to take her to the park each week?" And I'm like, "We take her like once a month to the park."
Lots of people think that, don't they?
Yeah, I know. We had to explain the whole thing to her so she would understand that greyhounds are the laziest type of dogs in the universe.
That's an interesting corollary there. Mel, I'm wondering at this point, thanks guys for a beautiful discussion so far. We've got more to come because we've got some more amazing questions, but we might take just a tiny little break for you
Let the kids
guys
stretch.
to take a breather, maybe go for a run.
Not racing.
We'll be
running.
back soon. Thanks guys.